That's Trapper's Shingle, only place in the city to go to get certified with a repeater. No place better than Trapper's Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They train themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. Trappers couldn't get through without a few scrapes. A decent trapper wouldn't walk away empty-handed. To think a rickety place like the Shingle survived, and so little else did. That ought to make those fangs sink in nice and deep. War machetes are so quick, you gotta keep a good grip on them. Can't be too careful these days. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees a plain, frozen faces all around. You don't much care to see him. Not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone who ain't like Mr. Beckley and his kindly wife. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. He's got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder Brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nordy the bird boy didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. Kid does what he has to do. And then, what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go, please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zolf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Ceylondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind, both to him and to each other, for the first time. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. For Zolf, Caelondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. Kid says hello, but Zolf's lost in thought. Kid ain't finished here yet. The cores. You remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. Pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. Valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Come on, give the little tyke a break. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. There's Pith Orchard, built in honor of the bull, and folks like Zolf who pray to him. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Pith Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the Orchard core, it's long gone too. Seems Pith ain't much of a watchdog. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. He couldn't even save his loyal subjects. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks into bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods? Or tell them off? Pith. Kid decides to press his luck. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him. passes Pith's trial, and he's richer for it. Kid ain't found a core, at least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. Turn him round and round all you like. Pith's still gonna be ugly. Party punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. Trappers, daring bunch of fools. They'll be missed. The Gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. The accused always got a fair shake in Zealandia. Some used to take the bullhead trial. Survive the trial without taking a scratch, you'd walk away a free man. Trial taught folks three things. First, a good defense is a good offense. Second, you gotta always watch your back. Third, ain't no godlike bull up there gonna save you. aside and let things go. Well, the kid always wanted to compete in the bullhead trial. That's Cinder Brick Fort, where the marshals used to watch over the city. There's only one way to Cinder Brick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. Calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Up here in this very fort. Business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use martial supplies, but the kid sure can. As for the windbags, Cinder Brick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort. Not a scratch on him as he presses on the higher ground. slamming everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Got a squirt lure at the ready in case things turn sour. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the force parade grounds. Then they bring out Glutus and Glandon and all his scumbag uncles. They got something to gain, only their sorry hides to lose. Kid takes down Glutus. Maybe it was Glandon. The other big fella soon joins his brother. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Ulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zulf was his smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. Never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found neither. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Ceylondia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. The kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him. Finally arrived at Ceylondia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else. What was I saying? Anyway. But then, all he got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Wait, where was I? Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me. I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing, what he's done. I surely would. The marshals seem like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zolf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the marshals kept a wary eye on him. We ain't much for pleasantries. The marshals kept the city's peace. They can rest easy now. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own. You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. Lost and found. Here, kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again. All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. Zolf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that.